using Google technology called the TensorFlow.
There we go.
So
All right,
sure.
so I think we're live now, guys.
We'll talk later.
Sorry to interrupt you, June.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys. We're live right now, so I just didn't want any personal conversations that we're live on Facebook. But I'm going to share my screen right now. I'm going to do a real brief intro here. Let's see. And thank you again for being patient, as this is the first time I'm trying to do hybrid. All right, there we go. You guys can see the presentation, right? On Zoom?
Yes.
There we go. Perfect. All right. So to start out with, my name is Nikki Caboose, and hello to everybody in person as well. This is weird. I'm so used to just looking at the screen. So today, our Tech Talk, South Florida's latest AR esport, Shane Vanderkoy, president at Green Mouse Academy, is going to be our guest speaker. And sponsor is Carrie Stampin' Company, of course, first in-person / hybrid event. So thank you, Boca Code. Really happy to be able to do it in person. All right, so sponsor, I'm going to give Josh a second once I'm done with this to tell us a little bit about Carrie Stampin' Company. And thank you again, because they always sponsor our Tech Talks. So building South Florida into a tech hub. This is our mission statement. And of course, our community creed. Tech Hub South Florida is wholeheartedly committed to building a welcoming, collaborative, and inclusive community for all. We put inclusivity first, engage with others, are considerate to all, and don't sell to people. So in short, we would like to invite everybody to the table and would like everybody to feel welcome and get involved. And Tech Hub South Florida, again, our mission statement is to build South Florida into a tech hub. We are a tech nonprofit, 501c6, membership driven. And we currently have over 200 corporate members in our membership base. And of course, including all the wonderful tech talent. We have thousands of professionals from Miami-Dade through Broward, Palm Beach County, and then even a couple trickled into Martin County as well. These are some of our wonderful members, of course, Boca Code, where we physically are today, Office Depot, Emerge America, City Furniture, Social Mobile, Carrier, a bunch of great companies. And I know that a lot of these here are some of the larger names, but of course we do have small startups all the way to the enterprise. We've got everybody in between, which is really cool. A little bit about the membership. We've got 4 different corporate membership levels. I won't go into all them here, but we do offer different member spotlights, speaking opportunities, and just different ways for to help you with tech talent and also for exposure and brand recognition. But of course, if anybody's interested in more information, I'd be happy to set up a call with you. A little bit about the Tech Talks, or a little bit about our events, I'm sorry, is we have Tech Talks. They, well, typically are weekly on Mondays. Right now, as we're going hybrid and trying to go back in person, we're actually doing every other Monday night. So for instance, the next one will actually be in Miami at the Lab Miami on Monday, the 24th of this month. Again, I can drop this link in the chat as well once I'm done here. That one will be hybrid as well, yes. We're trying to do our best to, going forward, keeping everything hybrid, because the one thing that the pandemic was really helpful with was bringing everybody together as a region. And so we didn't want to just get rid of that. So we're going to do our best to keep everything hybrid. Community coffees, those are alternating on Tuesday mornings at 8 a.m. Those are typically panel discussions, everything from talent discussions to we've even done health and mental health. We've done, of course, technology. So they're kind of different things across the board. We also have our podcasts that are alternating on Tuesday mornings as well. Our president and CEO, Joe Russo, does them with Joanna McCullough from BrainStation, and they're both of our co-hosts. And again, those are alternating Tuesdays at 8 a.m. Lunch and Learns are Fridays, always from 12 to 1. We do them a lot with our partners like Boca Code. They're very introductory classes, so they're great for anybody that wants to be introduced to something, anybody that's a student that just wants to learn something new about a different technology, because almost all of them are intro level. For anybody that's currently looking for a job, we do have on our website, techhubsouthflorida.org, there is a talent button. And then we do have a job board, but there's also a resume distributor. So if anybody's looking through the job board, doesn't find something that's like perfect for them in that moment on the board, you can actually just upload your resume. And once you hit submit, it goes to all of our members and companies that have signed up to receive that service as well. And last but not least, Our Slack channel is a pretty active Slack channel. I think we're really close to about 4,500 members, which is an awesome number. We've been trying to grow that. So techhubsouthflorida.org/Slack. And last but not least here is if you do want to be added to our Monday e-newsletters, they go out every Monday afternoon about 2 o'clock. You can actually just text us your email, send that to 561-250-7206. And I am going to stop sharing here. I want to allow Josh Weller from Carey Stamp and Company, again, our sponsor for the evening, if you would like to take it from here and share a little bit about what you do.
Just trying to share my screen here. Are we good there?
Yes, I can see it.
Great. Thank you, Nikki. And it's great to be with you on the first hybrid event here. My name is Josh Weller. I'm on the financial advisory team at Carey Stamp and Company. And like all of the talented entrepreneurs and brilliant employees at Tech Hub, associated with Tech Hub, we like to think of our team as being on the leading edge of financial planning and investment management. Our focus is on helping individuals and families do the smart things that build their wealth over time and help them achieve their financial vision and security in life, all the way from building a career through a confident retirement. It's a full service firm, 12 team members. It's a nice size. All of our advisory and planning staff have at least one designation or recent graduate degree that's related, and we're all working on more. We all do at least 60 hours of continuing education every year. We're completely independent, no bias. I'm a fiduciary. Clients throughout the US, our headquarters are in Tequesta, and we have a northern office up in Stamford, Connecticut also. Carey Stamp, the founder, has 5 professional designations, which is amazing. 30 years experience in the field. He was just recognized in the Forbes Best in State Wealth Advisors list, and he serves on numerous boards in the area. Community service is very important to us. I specialize in sustainable investing, also known as ESG, and I've written extensively on the subject and been quoted. You can get more information at www.careystamp.com, and Carey and I both have YouTube channels. His is amazing. It has more than 80 videos on financial planning and investment management, and mine is specifically focused on sustainable investing. And Carey also has a Business in Paradise podcast in which he interviews entrepreneurs or business leaders in the area. I think a few Tech Hub folks have been on this. I appreciate your time very much, and I'll send it back to you, Nikki.
Thank you so much, Josh. And I'm going to drop some of the links there in the chat, but I want to go ahead and hand it over to Shane. So whenever you guys are ready, you're good to go. And I'm just going to I'll drop your links and stuff in the chat as you're going to. And just for anybody, again, because we are trying to do this hybrid, just so that Shane doesn't have to try to watch the chat as well, I will be watching that. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat there, and I will make sure that that gets out to Shane as well.
Awesome. Are we on? Thanks so much, Nikki. I want to thank Nikki and Joe and Monica, the team, for giving me this honor to talk with you tonight. The first sort of in-person hybrid tech talk. I don't know how I got to add a little stress. I just came back from the dentist with emergency dental work on my way here. I get to be the first one out of the gate, and I'm staring at a lot of folks that have masks on. So it's a little unnerving, but no, it's an absolute pleasure. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about Green Must Academy. It's the company that I operate. You can look us up and see the cool things that we do with STEM and kids. But I'm really excited actually to have been invited here to share and introduce a brand new augmented reality techno sport to South Florida. And more importantly, you want to share your slides? Yeah, actually, okay. Let's do that now. Sorry. We're gonna do this. I'm getting help from Dr. Todd. I want to thank Todd for helping out here. And by the way, this is a plug for future events. This is an amazing place. First time at Boca Code. We need to fill this place up once it's safe to do so. So thank you. Should be able to, yeah. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, we got some cool stuff to show you in a second, but I really want to spend a few minutes after I kind of introduce HADO and the techno sport that I'm talking about. Is really a project that we're developing right now to create a scholastic active esports experience starting right here in South Florida, which we hope to expand nationally. But first, I'll give you a little bit of background on HADO itself. So, what do you think? It's kind of cool.
Very cool.
And let's just say that's a little, we'll call it CGI enhanced experience there for PR marketing purposes. But really, this is what struck me, and I'll follow my notes if you don't mind. But this is kind of, I just want to plant this in your mind after you see that. Every young person dreams at one time or another about having a superpower, right? Or living in a fantasy-filled world where, like the ones shown in movies or comic books or TV or whatever. And the young founder and entrepreneur of a Tokyo-based technology company, the company's name is meleap, based in Tokyo. He had a dream, even as a young person, of creating a reality where he could challenge rivals by just raising his arm and firing off energy bolts, or moving his arm and pulling up energy shields to block opponents. And really with the wave of his hand, and really being immersed into this inside a video game, like shows and books and so on, like Dragon Ball and so on, and by following in the footsteps of his comic book heroes. And in 2014, this young man actually turned his childhood reality into literally augmented reality and created the company and this brand new esport called HADO, which is represented in that promotional you see. I need to go back a slide here. We're going to talk about what HADO is for a second, but before we do, and then get into explain our project, I want to go into a little bit of the backstory about where this came about for me. And it started really nearly 2 years ago when that particular video that I just showed, I ran across it on social media. And there's one more that follows it, which I'll show you in a moment. And after I saw that, I was like, wow, okay, that's got my attention. Let's bookmark this. I'm going to come back to it and show my team this later, because I'm always on the hunt for the next cool thing that we're going to share with kids and inspire young people around STEM and STEM experiences. And then right nearly around that time as well, I got introduced, and this is unrelated, but I got introduced to scholastic esports and the whole phenomenon of esports as an industry. There was a presentation by the founder of the North American Scholastic Esports Federation here in Palm Beach County. And I learned about this explosive growth of the competitive esports field. It's nearly a $1 billion industry segment within the multi-billion-dollar video gaming industry. And incidentally, I didn't realize, I may be speaking to folks that know this already, but I didn't realize that the revenues, the global revenues of movie production and North American pro sports industries are less than the global video gaming industry. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing when you truly think about that. I've been helping kids learn coding through gaming and game design for nearly 20 years, and yet I felt like I had been living in a cave when I started seeing this, thinking, where have I been? What have I been, missing out on? And I immediately connected the dots. And so I'm probably going to be the least technical person in this room tonight and online, but I want to show you how I connected the dots. And I'm bringing this. I think the reason I got invited here tonight is we're going to share with you the project that we're working on. And I think our community with experts like you folks and the ones online will actually help us create and connect even more dots with what we can do here. And the dots that I saw connected was HADO looked really, really cool. That's actually a sport. It's an augmented sport. It's an esport that actually is physical. It has teams, which we're going to talk about in a second. And then I saw this esports industry that's generating all kinds of revenue, all kinds of careers beyond just the pro players. And we've got a solid footing in the esports industry right here, actually probably a few blocks away from here. And I thought, we can connect some of these things and really use this as a vehicle to inspire kids and really my goal is to really create career discovery experiences for kids, not just around the games themselves. Those are obviously just the hook, but really these real life skills for positions that support professional esports. And those are transferable life skills that will work in any job. And I feel like by doing so, we can really help energize and engage that young feeder into our tech talent pipeline, which we so much need and our growing area needs. So, and of course, HADO, which I really like, it's already physical, because when you talk to educators in schools, and I'm a parent as well, we're always trying to pull the devices away from the kids because they're not being active and they're not being physical and so on. So if we get to use something that's actually going to get them to be physical, it's so much the better. Fight fire with fire kind of thing. So now back to what is HADO. HADO is really an augmented reality experience. Many of you are much more versed in the technology than me and the underlying technologies that drive it. So forgive my layman's explanations. And when we get into the discussion phase, please correct all the mistakes that I make and please add to it as well. But here's my layman's description. Is I describe augmented reality, or AR, to be the merging of digital and physical worlds. And actually, apart from this, that's everything that I do in STEM. My company particularly does that. We try to bridge physical product with using it in some way digitally with kids. That's just our niche, and that's what we do. AR's got numerous applications, obviously well beyond and apart from gaming, and it's really such a rapidly developing field. I'm hearing terms virtual reality, mixed reality. I'm starting to see XR, extended reality, sort of maybe the umbrella, quick phrase to describe all of it. And it's obvious that the technology is going to be embraced by virtually every field of modern life as we go forward. And in the entertainment world, AR is probably most recognized as being part of that global phenomenon craze, Pokemon Go, that was everywhere. HADO employs augmented reality to put the power of energy balls and shields, I think like you can see in the graphic there, into the hands of players in a real life court. It's about the size of the space out there, the other side of Boca Code. Online, you guys won't know that unless you come back to visit, so I'll leave that. It really allows players, and that's kind of our tagline from a marketing standpoint for this startup, is it literally allows players to get in the game. They're physically inside the game. So how do you play HADO? Well, you can kind of see on the graphic here, actually you see 2-on-2 there, but essentially it goes up to 3-on-3. It's a team-based game. They play within a quarter arena. It can be easily set up in an open space like a gym, a cafeteria, a large meeting space, convention hall. The two, I'm going to point here to the screen, the two parallel walls are the key. Those are the AR marker walls. If it's portable, they can be on fabric banners. If it's a fixed facility, the markers will be embedded on the walls as murals, and the gameplay happens in between. Players wear a headset. Over the years, meleap has explored different technologies. I think they worked with Oculus. They were working on other devices. In the end, they settled on something as simple as a headset like this. I don't know if we can see that online. Yeah. And an iPhone slips in front. The players also wear an iPod Touch on their wrists, and that equips the game. And then there's an iPhone Eye that actually is capturing the gameplay and either streaming that or projecting that for the spectators to see the full game action as well. And that's what makes it more exciting to watch, because otherwise it looks like just a bunch of crazy people jumping around in the middle of the room, right? Gameplay in some respects mimics the timeless sport of dodgeball. I'm giving away my age here. And players basically attack by aiming and firing energy balls at their opponents' life petals. And they try to avoid those attacks if they're on the defense mode by physically dodging, moving, ducking, and so on, or putting up their shields to absorb the energy shots from the opponents. The players can customize the energy ball and shield performance using a sensor on their arm. That would be the iPod Touch, and there's an app to run that. And I'm looking at my player guide here. And this is where it gets kind of interesting because players can actually customize their performance across 4 different skill sets. And so then, I mean, you can immediately play. When I went to LA originally to play this, I was playing within a minute and I didn't even know what I was doing. But strategically and competitively, players decide who's going to fill the role of assassin. There's the technician, there's the defender. And depending on what skill sets they give themselves and what kind of strategy they employ, they're going to maybe win or lose and put that strategy into practice. And surprisingly enough, when I played this game, these matches, they're fast paced. They only last 80 seconds each in between each game. A complete competitive match is actually typically made up of 7 individual games to make a full match. But within 3 quick matches, I'm already, I'm a little out of shape, I admit, but my heart rate was right up there already. And even some of the high school kids that we tested this with were already saying, yeah, I could use a break after two or three games, because it's like burpees or wind sprints. I mean, you're moving around quickly without realizing it because you're fully engaged in the game. So I'll give you a little bit of our plans for HADO before we dive into the project that we're really focusing on locally. But now that you know a little bit about it, this is what we're working on closely in collaboration with the parent company in Japan. And there's really 3 things that our plan involves, kind of a 3-pronged approach. One is we really want to develop a scholastic and collegiate program as an esports career discovery overlay, which will be the hook. And that I don't want to call it curriculum because it's more of an activity guide and it'll start small, but that's really our focus area. And we hope to have the first pilot running already here in Palm Beach County this summer. We've received some grant funding. We're going to work with some sites in the underserved community, and we're really excited about that. Secondly, we really want to help develop and promote and really recruit a network of HADO operators. This is on a business side because it's a program that's already grown and got some popularity across and traction across Europe and certainly more in Asia, but really it's still completely unknown in a startup in the United States. And so to build up gameplay, we need operators throughout the country so folks can come and play. Well, there we go. And some of, it's a good point. Some of those sites, that family entertainment, adult entertainment centers are certainly attracted to this as possibly an activity. Where the final point is, I think once we get enough traction, we really would like to establish a national HADO league and official competitive teams. And that would sort of feed right into that infrastructure that already exists for HADO. And I want to bring the cup back to America. And I think there was like 2 million yen at the last HADO Cup in Tokyo, which is probably what, I don't know, $10,000, $20,000, something like that. So it's getting up there. It's starting to be some professional money involved. I want to show a little. Or Todd's going to help me show you a little bit of one more little video of HADO competition play, and then we'll get into the project curriculum project we're working on.
Yeah, so I have to. The last time when we were sharing before, people couldn't hear it, so I need to just share sound. There we go. Now I think we're good.
Plus, I get carried away, Nikki. So once I have to cut, just throw something at me.
And then.
Tonight, the HADO World Cup final is happening here in Tokyo. Every fan in the world is holding their breath for the match to begin.
I know you guys are really
And now, the final match begins. Whoa! An energy ball from the back side of the field hits a player.
think there was some CGI liberties going on, and I think a few laws of physics were probably broken in there as well. So, you know, you get the point, but you can't actually, I don't think you can bend it yet. But the reason obviously it's they show this for a reason, and it's exciting PR. But the reason I showed it as well is when we're trying to attract a pipeline of talent and get kids, underrepresented, served populations interested in STEM, right? Whether it's in education or actually in the working community. What's going to excite them, especially those who aren't normally attracted to this? This kind of a sports kind of adrenaline pumping experience that you only get as a young person most often either in entertainment or in playing for a pro sports team, a competitive sports team in school. The rest of the kids might miss out. And so I really see this esports in general, not just HADO, but the ability to kind of bridge some of that together and attract kids and bring them together and connect those dots as well. And I think HADO by its very nature is highly inclusive. And so I think it could be a great vehicle initially, and hope to see other active XR sports and activities, pulled together. And I'd like to see the federations and so on that are working with schools and colleges to bring some of that together. And maybe we can be right at the forefront of that. So anyway, I'll jump to kind of explain our. Oh, did I lose our present?
I think that's the.
Anyway.
I think this is we had the video in here.
Oh, that's right.
In the.
Reached my technical limits, but basically now I'll get to the project that we're working on. Our baby steps will be this summer, but we've been invited to develop an out-of-school HADO Academy. We're going to call it HADO Academy Experience, and launch the official Scholastic HADO League starting right here. And our goal would be to engage a wide range of students in a structured project-based learning experience themed around HADO gameplay and competition, while introducing them to esports careers. And I'll show you what's kind of inspired a little bit of this in terms of content. It still doesn't like what I'm doing. I think it froze up. Next slide. I killed Zoom. I'll keep talking and then we'll jump back to it. But what we've really been inspired by a curriculum mapped by the North American Scholastic Esports Federation. So that's kind of what inspired what they call 4 career domain exploration areas. And they're not specific to esports. They've just kind of made an overlay for it. Organizers, strategists, content creators, and entrepreneurs. So they're speaking our language, I think, right here in our community, right? The activity modules that I envision would have participants writing, graphic design, video production, event organizing, business outreach, online streaming, thank you, website design, fitness and wellness, and a whole lot more. And obviously the initial focus will have to be on gameplay and physical activity, collaboration, and event organizing. And we've gotten, just through trial and error in my organization, pretty good at creating modular content or content guides. And it'll probably be video-based content curriculum. It'll be modular. So we'll start with baby steps and just kind of build it out horizontally and vertically, and just keep adding pieces as we're getting feedback from the community and working with experts to really make it meaningful and engage the community. So the format will be flexible. The content depth probably start with, I'm just giving you some specifics, but probably like 6 one-hour sessions to start with, because we're going to try to engage as many kids as we can, which means we got to move it around. And then we can go deeper, especially where it would be for a permanent club or potentially even integrated into the school day. Florida and California are 2 of the first states where a form of esports curriculum has actually been approved at the state level as during the day curriculum. I'm gonna, if we've got a few minutes, I'll kind of tie this up a couple of minutes and then really open it up for questions and discussion. But in terms of what's next, beyond sort of this initial project, obviously we already talked about this for a second. The HADO product itself, of course, it's going to be interesting for XR entertainment centers. Very interestingly enough, we've got a partner, a nonprofit partner operating in Tampa that actually sees potential for using it as a rehabilitative therapy with vets and so on that are being treated. There's a fantastic hospital there working with vets. And so they actually are going to bring them in. More than 10 years ago, I was actually working with, it's called the Active Gaming Research Lab at USF. They were at a cutting edge stage of using technologies as part of PE programs, and they were calling it exergaming and active gaming and so on before a lot of this stuff even existed. And so we're coming full circle and coming back to them because they've done some great research in that. I personally would like to see it, particularly if we develop a true esport, mini esport league for this. I'd like to integrate blockchain, cryptocurrency, prize monies. Like the more we can introduce young people and even college age and beyond to all these other things that are cool and make up sort of our community, particularly with what's going on in Miami, I think that's going to create some more excitement for what we're doing. And then this is just a personal one too. I can't speak for the folks in Japan or others, but I see, potentially crowd-funded league ownership. I would love to even see young people in the teams themselves be able to take an investment and sort of be a league of the people. It's kind of my personal dream. And I think part of that, you can see that the reason I showed you the two videos, one had a very, sports-focused emphasis. The other was pure theatrics, right? And I think that's cool. That's what esports can do, and this in particular as well. Like these kind of events do a great job of kind of blending entertainment, music, gaming, popular culture, all kind of wrapped together in these exciting events. And I think I was talking about it with Joe earlier. If that's the kind of thing that we want to excite our potential talent pipeline as it's growing up, those are the things they're passionate about. And if they see that we care about that too, and we care about it by showing them we celebrate it with them, right? We make it loud. I think we're going to do a better job of pulling everybody in and opening up our tent and bringing, attracting more to our industry, or industries. So I guess this is the cue to open it up to questions. I'm going to close it out here and then we can talk and have a discussion. The first question I'll pose to myself because it's the one I get asked right away. So where can I play? Yeah. Okay. The good news is there's our initial partners in Florida are already set up at the University Mall at I think it's the Innovation Partnership across from USF. Every Saturday or Sunday right now is open gameplay, so we can all head over there and play if we want to. Seriously though, within the next, yeah, right in Tampa. What's that? Amrock Fab Lab is where it's located. Well, yeah, yeah, but I'm Canadian. I don't even understand that part. Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you. Within the next few weeks, I hope to have one or more mobile sets here, and we're looking at a partner to host it. We've been talking with our partners at the South Florida Science Center and so on. So I envision a VIP event. If we get invited back, and maybe we can sponsor the next event and have gameplay as part of it. So we'd certainly like to make that available within the near future as we grow. Right now, we're really just, there's a favorite saying from one of our Dutch partners, making haste slowly. So we're kind of doing that. But sorry, how do you get the headset? Okay, the question was how you get the headsets. It comes as a complete package. So right now you can't just bring your own iPhone, drop it in. It comes as a complete set. So as a HADO operator, if I were an operator sitting right in this facility, you would come in. We'd have the walls already set up. It runs off of a laptop. The headsets are all charged up. The wrist sensors as well. You could come and play one against the computer, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. And we get you set up with some instructions within a few minutes. This is what they gave me. How big is it? And immediately play. Roughly, it's in metric, but 20 by 30. 20 meters by 30? No, 20 feet by 30 feet. Oh, okay. Yeah, and about 9 feet tall. Not a lot yet. It's pretty locked down, although gameplay matchup is really the primary customization. So right now it's not opened up to developers. They're holding it really tightly, but that may not always be the case. That's why 20 by 30 is that. So yeah. So it's not, yeah, it doesn't, and even though it's, like I said, it's really active, most of that movement, because you're avoiding what's coming straight at you, you're doing these fast movements within almost like a 6 foot, nicely socially distanced space.
So, just a little bit too, because I'm writing it in chat.
Yeah.
But can you repeat Christina's question?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay, just.
Yeah, they can't hear the questions that we ask.
Yes, Christina asked how much customization is possible within the game, and I'm assuming customization of the actual code of the game itself.
Or
And
like the graphics.
yeah, we're, I don't want to get, I don't want this on record yet. We're in final due diligence for all of the United States. That would include IPs, but everything that would need to be taken care of to develop a league, a market, swag, broadcast, everything rolled into one to truly capitalize on those 3 areas that I talked about, which was really the business strategy. And that's what's still very much in my mind, the startup here. But we're working on it. In terms of for players, what they can immediately just manipulate within the game, like I said, just the gameplay skill levels within the 4 areas. And then for competition, they change up the matchups. It's not just put it on 80 seconds, go, 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 like dodgeball, and then you're done. It's for competition, there's actually a whole rule book and so on, and there's different matchups for the team. So the first match might be 3-on-3, second match 1-on-1, third match 2-on-2, and you have to use a certain configuration, or you're not allowed to use shields or whatever. Like they change it up a little bit to you know, to just make it tougher and exciting. Yes.
So I understand obviously there are, you know, rules around this, but is it possible or like not possible to make it so that it's totally social distance that we play on their own boards?
I can't speak for where it's being created in Japan, but I think those are obvious questions that I'm hearing from other partners, particularly the ones in Europe that have been doing it for a while already. And I think that could be a logical next step. It's just not possible right now.
I think though, like technically though, having a person be there in augmented reality is harder to like videotape and project a person.
Speaking hypotheticals right now, what's most likely going to probably, and I'm getting way out of my element, you guys got to help me here, but I think what's most likely to be first is where it's an individual and what they're going up against is an avatar, like not another human, because of lag time, another, you know, over the internet, different countries, it's just going to, that the latency would be really frustrating if that's there, right? So, because that's one of the things I mean, I'm not a gamer, but when I flew out, because I actually was going to Tokyo right before COVID hit. I was going to start dealing, and then I had to cancel the trip. And so I got to test it finally right around Thanksgiving last year, and there was a demo set up in LA. It's not there now. We've taken over that role, but I wanted to check. I said, I'm not a gamer, but I'm gonna, if this is really latent and it's frustrating to start for somebody like me, it's just not gonna work. And within minutes, they turn on the lights here, put this on, wave your arm, and I was playing and totally immersed right away.
So what's the fidelity of gaming? If I'm looking across and someone goes like this, like do I see it in the headset, like all 4 fences, like that one?
Yeah, what that's why I wish we could, next time we'll have it here so you can try it. What happens is I see everything that's in the room. So if you're the 3 players against me, I put my glasses on through the camera. I'm seeing all of you, I'm seeing the space, but I'm also seeing my my health, I'm seeing the clock, I'm seeing my charging levels, and I'm hearing it charge up because I'm charging up by waving my arms. So I'm walking around like this, right? And I'm ready to fire, I go like that. And I've got a crosshair that's targeting, that's going to be targeted on your life pedal or where your life pedal is going to be if you're moving around a lot, right? So I could go like that, but it's going to go that way. Yeah. And then there's just nuances depending on how you've coded your skill sets. If I throw a speedy power energy ball, I might get all your life pedals. And then you got to wait and dodge while you're charging back up to protect yourself. So different from dodgeball, and that's the thing that schools don't like. You're not out. You're just waiting to charge up again. You're in the game. You're active the whole match. Right? Yeah. Thank you.
I also wanted to allow Rainbow to speak, because I know that she has put comment here in chat about, he looks at, depending on schools, underprivileged students as well, and there are students like, doing a lot with, like getting students out into the community and working with like companies like yourself. So
Yes.
I wanted to kind of briefly explain what he's doing.
That'd be great.
And just don't get really some.
Why don't we unshare the screen?
Sure. Yeah, we don't need any. Yep.
So Randall, I don't know if you just heard, but
No, I didn't.
yeah, Nikki wants to give you the floor for a moment so you can speak to what you're doing.
Well, hi Shane. I don't know if you caught before, is I run a nonprofit that partners with the industry in order to provide authentic, career pathways and workforce readiness skills for our underserved students. And we've been working with a few organizations the past few years, but lately we brought in esports about 2 or 3 years ago. Actually, this is our 3rd year. And I'm glad to see on your curriculum site, you have NASEF there. I'm a NASEF fellow. So I'm in the group that's creating the depth of the curriculum and the ways to duplicate this. That's there. You've addressed college. Do you think there's possible wiggle room for a group of students in Lauderhill that we are already organized as looking at this as esports is it's not about the thumb jockeys and the gamers, but they're in it for the business side, running a franchise. Everything from the coaches, theory casting, to our our marketing department and leadership and management structures.
I love it. And you and I can take a conversation offline about
Sure.
your specific situation, because I think we can help each other maybe, because your experience and direct connection already with the kids is going to be invaluable as we're looking at, as I said, I'm looking at working as a community to connect the dots here.
Yes.
For the rest of here's the pitch. I mean, our funding for the summer is actually limited by geography. And programs like this to help Title I kids is really dependent upon funding and grants and support for the most part. And so, I'm sure Randall would agree, we're always on the hunt for supporters and how to grow it. And I haven't had a lot of conversation yet with Dade County and the school system there, or some of the intermediaries in out of school are, we're based primarily in Palm Beach County, but we want to go everywhere.
That's one of the nice things, is that our audience are teenagers who do attend school, but we work outside the school system as our nonprofit. So our pathways are a little bit smoother, and we're servicing the same group of students.
You bring up a good point, because I don't know if you'd like to speak to this, Joe, too, because I know you've been involved in working, sort of connecting the business community with education, higher education, and the school system too. And some of the challenges has been, it's 2 very different systems. And that's why most of my experience has actually been out of school, after school, summer camps and so on, because really the handcuffs come off then. We don't have to be focused on standards and some of the political things that go on. And I think navigating that that framework is tricky.
What's really great, Shane, is that there's room enough for everybody. I'm sorry, was he talking? I can't hear anything.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Joe's going to come up here. So
Oh, okay.
So, Shane, as we were talking about a second ago, K-12 schools have the testing requirements, right? And they have different things that they have to do, and it's regimented in a way to have those processes and procedures. And the other things that teachers are also really kind of beholden to are certification. As a way to go above and beyond, if you're a high school teacher, you have your students do certification, not necessarily things that are so outside the box. So it's really kind of an opportunity for an organization like ours, or a group like Shane, to say, hey, we're going to be able to provide this to a student or a class and try and get it a little outside the lines. But you also have to think about the time that teachers have, the time that they have in school. They're really limited. When we all went to school, everyone loved field trips, right? 100%. Everyone loved field trips. Everyone loved when we got to do something that's just not school related. But fitting in somebody awesome like Shane come in and do stuff like this, that's a resource drain on the hours that they have with people too. So it's going to be a constant battle, and really takes people like Shane, Randy, and so many others to do what we can with what we got. But yeah, I love this. I'm going to go practice some of this spinning later too.
I don't know if I've still got a minute, but I think that's what we try to do to really support the school system, is really to create these total solutions. In some cases, some of it has to be packaged. And I mean, you've got rock stars like Randall and others who don't need any help. They just need some resources and they can run with it. But when you're looking at scaling across whole systems, and one of our partners has 500 locations across the country, they need it kind of spoon-fed, packaged. It feels like a little bit of paint by number. But if that's just the beginning, that's the starting point, that's okay, because once the kids and the adult facilitators, whether it's teachers or other school staff, have achieved some sense of success and understand, oh, okay, this isn't so daunting, this isn't, I'm not intimidated, I got this, then they don't have to think within the numbers anymore, and they can run with it. And so that's kind of the philosophy that my company uses. Yes. I wish I could, and I'm unfortunately, I'll speak to a little bit that I know, but I wish Terry was on our. Yeah, the question was, could I speak more about the rehabilitation therapy aspect, potentially of HADO, but not just HADO, but there were other active gaming, exergaming equipment devices that actually, I actually purchased a bunch of them years ago, and we created a physical super circuit for kids, almost like the old gym, like you'd go to a station every 2 minutes, you'd move to a different station. One of them was exercise bikes. The kids were playing some kind of video game, but as soon as they stopped pedaling, it would freeze. So they had to keep pedaling. There was another one where there was a tower. It was called Makoto, and the kids had a staff with bumpers on it. And this tower had lights on 3 different heights and 3 different sides, and they would light up and make a sound. And the kids would have to whack it with the staff, like a bow staff, and follow it around. But we found later those were being used for kids with ADD, autism, ADHD, and somehow, and I think the idea of HADO for rehabilitative therapy is that just that in a fun, adrenaline, endorphin sort of producing experience, there's going to be some sort of healing processes going on. There's going to be new pathways, neural pathways that are being made as people are doing things that that are different from maybe what they're doing, take them out of whatever situation they're in. But I can't speak, professionally to exactly how it be applied, but I know there's already interest in it. And that's where being next to USF and the VA centers and some of the cutting edge work that's being done there is where the studies can follow and the observations can follow and validate some of these tests. And that's why it's so cool that active gaming has been explored there for many years already, because a lot of those studies, particularly how to utilize it in PE programs and train future PE teachers, has already been done and validated. So this is just a new tool for it. I think we're going to hand it off to Nikki. I really appreciate this opportunity, so thank you so much. Feel free to contact with me and talk with me afterwards anytime.
Oh, wait, Shane's taller than me. There we go. All right. Well, thank you again for everybody, of course, that's here in person for our first in-person Tech Talk in over a year. And then, of course, thank you for everybody that is on Zoom with us. Hopefully, we can get you guys out soon in person too. But thank you again, everybody, and have a great night.
Do you have any resources that like grant resources and stuff that you can? Yeah, we have a foundation.